Hey everyone, welcome back to another Fortune Fire Serie A Fantasy video. Today is a Game Week 3 review. The next Game Week 4 starts on Friday, so we're going to pop out this review video and a preview one for Game Week 4 not too long from now. But we're going to quickly go over this. It was really a bit of a meh game week. It wasn't great. It could have been a lot better if I had one defender in for another, and we'll see that shortly. And this is coming off the back also of a wild card, or as it's said in a Fantasy Serie A, the shuffle chip. I did use one. There's just too many issues. Giroud had COVID. Ronaldo obviously wasn't in Serie A anymore. Had some other. Chiesa was injured. I wanted to bring Dybala. He was injured. So it was just getting messy, and there were other players that had really good fixtures that I wanted to bring in. So I pulled the trigger on the shuffle chip, and this is the team I ended up getting. So I'm stuck with Zoet. I'm definitely going to stick with him. And instead I brought in, I didn't even notice this, Lazzarini, who it looks like he's injured now too. I thought the other keeper was in for the other keeper that's injured. Looks like he's been injured too. So maybe there's like a third string Venezia goalie that someone can bring in if they need a new starting goalie for really cheap. That'll be an option to go to. Zoet kept the clean sheet for so long, especially because I had Molina in too. It was 0-0 almost right till the end. It would have been a great result fantasy wise. But then Udinese finally put one past Zoet. So he did make 3 saves, only letting the 1 goal. 3 points for a keeper isn't a horrible score at all. But most of them get 2 in a game week anyway. So I'll take that from a 4 million goalkeeper. Molina gets the hat trick? He gets the clean sheet. And so he gets 6 points, which is good. Honestly, I almost picked my 2 highest point getters for captain and vice captain of the week. Mela had a disaster week, caused a penalty with a handball, got scored on a couple times, and he didn't even make it to the 60th minute. So a really bad week for Mela. I don't want to give up on him yet, but another result like this, and I might be forced to move on from him. It's just not the result that you want. This guy to be a defender that's getting assists and goals, not that's causing penalties and getting subbed off early. I was kind of surprised about that. I might need to check into that to see if there's something else behind that, or if it was just an early sub to switch around formation to go get a goal. Roma lost 2-1, kind of a lucky deflection goal to swallow Berardi putting it in and just going off the knees of the attacker and to the net. But no clean sheet there, didn't contribute on any of the goals. That's what happens with most defenders anyway, but unfortunate to not get something there. Barella proves to be Mr. Consistent, 1 assist a game. That's good. If every one of my midfielders did that, I'd be happy. So I'm going to keep Barella. He's been doing good. Pasalic, since I sat him game week 1 and he got his assist, he hasn't forgave me for that and just gets another 2-point week for playing. I'll get to the Napoli game in a second, but what kind of saved my week a little bit is João Pedro. I captained him, seeing that he had a good fixture against Genoa. He did end up scoring early in the game off a penalty, which was really good, but he could have had 3 or 4 goals in this game. Missed an easy chance at the very end and a couple others that he probably should have had too. So he was a good captain choice this week, but it really should have ended up probably doubling his score. Probably could have been close to a 30-point week if he had his finishing there. As for Insigne and Osimhen, they played Juventus. Juventus played awful again this week. They scored earlier in the game. Shenzi went on to make another huge error that cost them the lead. And then Koulibaly was able to finish one right towards the end of the game to get Napoli a 2-1 win. Osimhen and Insigne did not get points for contributing, either of them, but it opened my eyes to a difference between Fantasy Serie A and Serie A Premier League, whereas a shot that caused a rebound that gets put in would normally count as an assist. Insigne was the one that Chesney parried out and got put in by Politano, and but he did not get credit for an assist on that. So just keep that in mind, that rebounds do not get you assists in fantasy Serie A. But at the end of the day, as long as it's consistent, they don't get for some and not for others. That's just their game, and that's okay. But yeah, so neither of them contributed on the goals. Osimhen just got back from suspension early. They appealed it, and he did get back. I don't know what these flags are for. I'm going to need to check that out. But all three of my Napoli players now have yellow flags on them. So we're going to have to see what happens there and who plays this upcoming week. Because literally, my Napoli players are probably my most important ones right now with their run of fixtures coming up and being on Napoli. Hopefully a team that'll be scoring a lot. Immobile, I couldn't sit Immobile. He could score any game. And fortunately, he also got a yellow card. Horrible week as far as my attackers go, to be truly honest. I had Bonazzoli in there too against Torino. It's like, as far as Salernitana goes, it's one of the easier teams they're going to face. They got absolutely dummied by Torino 4-0. I don't think I'm necessarily going to get rid of Bonazzoli just because he is the penalty taker on the team, and Salernitana will score goals eventually. And when they do, I bet it will be through Bonazzoli. So he's just a cheap attacker there that does not need to play every game. And just took a chance on him for this week and to be able to fit other players in my squad, and it didn't pay off this week. But yeah, not a good week for the attackers. Did absolutely nothing. It was really João Pedro, Barella, and Molina that kind of gave me an average score on the week of 38, as you can see. But what hurt most is sitting on my bench is 4.1 million defender that plays more of a midfield role for Cavalry, Cambiaso, that got 2 assists in this game against Cagliari. And I'm just here looking, geez, if I played him instead of Mela, that's an 11-point difference right there. And that puts me into a bigger green arrow than I got. So that is unfortunate to see. Like I said, by no means not a special week, but a lot of people seem to get in this kind of point range. Some people did do well and get in the 50s, 60s, kind of that area. And some people got in the 20s and teens at the end of the day. So like I said, kind of average. It does look like I went up on the week as far as overall standings. But if so, not by much. And I'm going to need to have definitely some better weeks with this wildcard team coming up. So just taking a quick look at the league. One good thing is 3 of the players that I brought in are being transferred in a lot, meaning that I'm going to be making value on my team because of this. And 1, 2, 3 players that I got rid of previous to this are going down, meaning I won't lose as much this week. So that is good. Dybala is someone that I wanted to bring in with my wild card. I'm glad, and the reason I didn't is because he was flagged and said not to be starting this game, which makes sense. The Champions League game just took place today. He took the penalty for Juve, so that's good. I am intending on getting him in. That's the reason I have João Pedro on my team, actually, is he's my Dybala replacement right now. Depending on, I need to double check Cagliari's fixtures coming up. It was going to just be once Dybala is ready to go from João Pedro to Dybala, and I might still not get Dybala this week because he played in Champions League. He might not start or might play reduced minutes this upcoming week. So that's where my head's at right now, but he is a player that I want to get in at some point. But yeah, other than that, here is the team of the week. We have some, look at these players that are kind of getting big points this week. It's not the traditional one. Vlahovic is one that a lot of people do have, but a striker for Venezia, midfielder for Torino, midfielder for Genoa. It wasn't a week where a lot of the mainstream players were getting the points. And so that's why, even getting a low score, I was able to get a green arrow and move up the standings. Going to the leagues, I am now in 3,435th place. So getting closer to that top quarter of the table. And in our league, I'm now moved up to number 9. Awesome job, Ibra11, for having a score of 191 at this point in time. That's amazing. And I know someone that I've been having some dialogue with on the YouTube channel. Ahmed said he's doing extremely well as well at 178. And then it gets kind of a lot closer as you get after that, okay? But after that, we're going to have a preview video soon, so I'm not going to go into what I'm thinking too much. Like I said, do want Dybala. I have 3 flags to worry about here, 4 if you count my backup goalie, but that's okay. That's not my priority. If I don't know what else to do, or I just need a late transfer, maybe I will switch that out, because right now I'm not sure exactly who to switch out right now. I want all my Napoli players that I have, just because of the run of fixtures, but if they have long-term injuries, I want to sub them out probably for another Napoli player playing a similar position as them. And yeah, this doesn't mean I'm captaining João Pedro this week by any means, especially if they're playing Lazio. So we'll see what happens there. But anyway, I hope if you like this video, let me know how you did this week. Please subscribe and please subscribe to the channel and like the video, as well as check out the Twitter and Instagram pages for this video in order to see more content like this. Hope you enjoy it and take care.